So welcome everyone. So welcome to our Friday morning, I forget what day it is, Friday morning sunrise class. So we're going to start seated, so you can sit on something if you find that useful to elevate the pelvis. Have a little rock backwards and forwards, side to side, so you can just find that central point and a place to pause. You might roll the shoulders up around the ears on the inhale, and on the exhale, draw them down the back. Doing that a few times, inhaling to round and exhaling down. Inhale and exhale. And then just allow the hands to come onto the knees and just find a settling. Find a place that you can pause for a little while here. And even as you pause, you might feel that your inhale just gives you a little bit of a lift. It's like a lifting up from the crown of the head, a lengthening through the spine. And then as you exhale, just draw the belly in a little, soften down through the shoulders, sink back down into your base. And just allowing yourself to come into this space, come into your body, see how things are. Maybe you've not long woken up, which is it's actually a really nice time to be still and present, because the mind maybe hasn't quite kicked in to its normal doing mode. So we can just feel and sense a little bit more readily, perhaps. And just notice the breath as it comes into the body, maybe at the nostrils. Noticing how the chest rises and falls with the breath. And perhaps how the belly rises and falls with the breath. Noticing how many parts of your body are involved in just one breath. Noticing that rhythm, that ebb and flow, that coming and going. The breath, so complex, yet so simple, and can be so soothing and allow us to sink into the moment. Just being here. But equally remembering, if thoughts come, just give them a little bit of acknowledgement, maybe even that little smile, and then just come back to being with the breath. Let that be enough. So this week we've been turning our attention to the powerful practice of gratitude. And many of you have already been to classes, so some of this will be familiar. Maybe you've started to implement some of this into your everyday life. Or it could be like a recap, seeing what resonates with you, and then seeing what you might be able to take into your day and your week, just to begin to have that sense of thankfulness and gratitude, and just a simple gladness of things that are happening around you. You know, so often we tend to focus on the difficulties and the obstacles that we have to overcome in our day. And really that's because they demand some action. They want us to do something. But on the other side of that, we sometimes forget to attend to the things that are already good and already doing well in our life, that we forget. And so life can feel like a bit of a struggle at times. But when we pause and are aware of things that do actually make us feel glad and thankful, we can begin to shift that negativity bias within the brain so that there is a little bit more joy and contentment and ease in our life. So take another long deep breath in and exhaling completely. So on a physical level, we've been working with opening the front of the body, which does mean back bending, but I always give you the options of, when we go into the back bend, to draw the belly in so that you're not back bending certainly into the lower back. You might get a bit more of an opening into the upper back. So please do that. If you're feeling that lower back bending isn't working for you today, or it hasn't worked for you this week, then do that instead. So really look after yourself. So as you inhale, reach the hands out to the side and all the way up to the top. You might gaze to the thumbs, and then as you exhale, bring the hands down into the heart space. Do that a couple of times just to begin to awaken the shoulders, the arms, and see how the body is. You know, it's always these first few movements that you can really tell how the body is. You know, sitting and breathing and being present sometimes isn't enough to really kind of be aware of what's going on for you and where you need to take your practice. So use that intuition, that wisdom within, to really guide where your practice is going to go today. So the next time that you inhale the hands up to the top, take an exhale and bring them into cactus arms. So we're drawing the elbows to shoulder height. Pause there and see if you can draw the shoulder blades towards one another a little. So it's like a bit more of an opening into the upper chest. And then as you inhale, reach the hands back up to the top. Again, you might gaze to the thumbs, but it might depend on the neck. And then as you exhale, come back to your cactus arms. So like a drawing down, but also a drawing back, if that feels good for the body. Inhale to reach the hands up. And exhaling down. One more inhale, and then exhale to your cactus arms again, and then take another inhale. Feel that lift and that length through the spine, and then either do that drawing in through the belly so you stay there, or you exhale and begin to fold a little into that. So it doesn't need to be much. You could probably feel it. It kind of extends down into the belly, maybe into the pelvis, and this can get bigger as we go through the practice as well, if back bending is feeling good for you today. Take an inhale, come back to the center, and then as you exhale, release the hands behind, interlace the fingers. Take an inhale, draw the shoulder blades together, opening up through the shoulders, through the upper chest. Take a big breath in, and again, you're either exhaling, draw the belly in, or just folding into that a little, so drawing the hands back and away, opening up the chest. Take an inhale, come back to the center, and as you exhale, release the hands forward, interlace the hands again, and then this time round through the spine. So draw the chin towards the chest, reach the hands forward. Maybe the hands are about shoulder height. You're reaching, opening up through the back of the body. And whenever I practice, like first thing in the morning, if this is first thing in the morning for you, it may not be, I just noticed that I'm a little bit tighter than usual, so you might need to take it a bit slower than you might do in an evening class. So go easy. Take an inhale, bring the hands up to the top, and as you exhale, turn the palms up towards the sky and reach through the hands. Draw the shoulders down away from the head. Take an inhale, and then as you exhale, fold over to the right side, just a little there, so a little stretch into the side body. And then inhale to come back to the center, and exhale over to the other side, and just see that right hip. You want to try and keep that kind of grounded down into the mat. Inhale back to the center, one more time either side. Exhale over to the right. Inhaling and exhale. Inhale back to the center, and exhale to bring the hands back down into the heart space. And just pause here for a moment. You might keep the hands in prayer, or you might even bring the hands over the heart space, whatever feels right for you, and just take a moment How would you like your day or your weekend to be? This is really useful to be aware of this, particularly, I think, when we practice early in the morning, setting an intention. How do you want to be? Not how much do you want to get done, which can often be what comes to mind. But how do you want to be? How do you want to show up in the world? How do you want to feel? Do you need a bit more calm in your life? A bit more energy? Just calling it in. So I am calm, I am peaceful, I am happy, I am loving, whatever it is. And on many levels this is already true, this is already who you are. Sometimes we just need to dig down and find it. Take another long deep breath in. And as you exhale, release. And release over the legs, come into tabletop. So hips over knees, shoulders over wrists. A couple of rounds of cat-cow. So as you inhale, allow the belly to drop, gaze upwards. Really press into the hands. And think about that stretch across the front of the body. That's what we're trying to achieve. And then as you exhale, draw the belly in. And then round through the spine, press through the hands, chin towards chest. Inhaling to round, feel that you can take your time here, no rush. Exhaling, and even as you move through cat-cow, if when you go into your cow pose, you go into your back bending, if that doesn't feel right for the body, keep the belly drawn in a little. There are some days when this just doesn't feel right for my body, and the lower back is niggly. So I stay a bit more connected. I don't move into that back bend so deeply. So just, if that's where you are today, just let it be, but know that you can adjust your practice to make it right. The next time that you exhale, sit back towards your child's pose. Reach forward through the fingertips and even come onto the fingertips. So you lift the palms, the elbows are lifted, the arms are lifted. You might have the forehead towards the mat, but if that's a bit too much for the shoulders, keep the head lifted. Take an inhale as if you're kind of wiggling the fingertips forward, stretching through the shoulders a little bit more. And as you exhale, sit back a little bit more towards the heels. And then the next time that you inhale, plant the hands down, come forward, and then exhale into your down dog. Hip distance between the feet, begin to pedal out through the legs. Try to do it with the breath as well. So you're inhaling, bend the knees. Exhale, heel to mat. Inhale, bend the knees. Exhale, heel to mat. Be aware of the hands. Can you spread the fingertips a little bit more? Try to have equal weight across the hands. Sometimes we can have a tendency to have it all into the ball of the hand. Is that what you'd call it? That bit by the wrist. Or maybe to the sides. So try to create equal weight across the hands. And then pausing. Take an inhale and lift the pelvis. Allow the head to release in between the arms. So you're really stretching the back. And then as you exhale, begin to sink the heels towards the mat, but you're keeping that length in the back of the body. So it doesn't matter how bent the knees are, if you need to have them quite deeply bent there. Be with that. Allow that to be. And then take an inhale, gaze forward. We'll step right leg, then left leg to the top of the mat, or walk the feet to the top of the mat. Bring the hands onto the ankles or the shins, further up the legs as you inhale and gaze forward. And then as you exhale, fold in over the legs. Press through the feet, gaze forward, take an inhale to sweep the arms all the way up to the top, so come up to stand. And then as you exhale, bring the hands into prayer at the heart center. Take a deep breath in here. And a deep breath out. Inhale to reach the hands up to the top. You might stay gazing to the thumbs and then exhale, folding forward all the way through. Release the hands, release the head. Take an inhale for your half lift. Remember, you can keep the legs as bent as they need to be. And then as you exhale, step left leg then right leg. You're either into your plank with the knees lifted, or you can come straight down with knees. So draw in through the belly. So definitely no back bending here. We want to stay connected. Push back through the heels if you're in your full plank. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, bring the knees down, the chin and the chest in between the hands. And then the hands are under the shoulders as the belly comes down. Inhale to your cobra. Press into the tops of the feet. And then as you exhale, soften back down. So we do that a couple of times. Keep the tops of the feet pressing into the mat. Make sure the hands are under the shoulders. Inhale to lift. Try to draw the shoulder blades down the back. Exhaling. One more. Slow inhale, lifting. And it doesn't need to be high. Exhaling down. And then travel back through your child's pose and into your down dog, checking the hands, checking the foot position, lifting the pelvis, softening into that, and feel that you could kind of pour the weight into the legs. And then gazing forward, take an inhale, step left leg, then right leg. Hands onto the ankles or the shins so you create that lift through the spine. And exhale, fold in. Press through the feet, take an inhale to come all the way up. Remember, bend into the knees where you need to. Reach up through the hands when you get to the top. And then exhale to bring the hands into the heart space. Take a deep breath in there. And a long breath out. One more of those. Inhale, reach the hands up. And exhale, fold all the way through. Inhale for your half lift. And exhale, right leg steps, then left leg. You're either in your plank. Make sure shoulders are over the wrists or you're dropping the knees straight away. Push back through the heels if you're in your full plank. Take a long breath in. And as you exhale, then knees, chest, chin. And then this time we'll bring the hands beside the body, so palms are facing in towards the legs. Or if it feels better for you, you could interlace the hands behind. Try to keep the feet pressed into the mat and then inhale, lifting up, drawing the shoulder blades towards one another. But if interlacing the hands doesn't work for you, then just keep them beside the body. Exhale to soften down. Inhale to lift. And exhale. One more of those. Inhale, so it's like really the muscles in the back that are lifting you here. And then exhale. And then bring the hands under the shoulders again. Push back through your child's pose into your down dog. This time in our down dog, take an inhale, raise the right leg, but press through the heel. So keep the leg straight. Be aware of kind of where that right hip is. And see if you can draw the toes to the midline of the body so you're keeping that hip level. Might mean the foot doesn't actually go that high, but that's okay. Press into the hands, lift the pelvis. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, sweep that foot forward. Give it a little hand if it needs it, and then drop the left knee. Make sure you pad out that left knee if you need to, and then we're going to inhale, come up into our lunge. And just exhale and draw belly in, maybe sit back into that a little so you can create that neutral pelvis. And what we're trying to create is like a long torso, a long spine, so that when we go into the back bends, we have that length. So then you're inhaling, reaching the hands up. And then as you exhale, cactus arms, so elbows in line with the shoulders. Inhale to reach. And as you exhale, it's almost like a drawing down, really engage the biceps, and then the shoulder blades towards one another. Inhale. And exhale. Pause there, take an inhale, feel that lift up through the crown of the head, and either draw the belly in as you exhale, or begin to soften back into that. So hopefully what would happen here is that you're stretching across the left thigh, belly, chest, and there's no issues in the lower back. If there is, please come back out and just leave those back bends for another day. Take an inhale to come back to the center. Exhale to release the hands behind. Interlace the fingers so the other little finger is on the outside. It'll be the way that feels strange. Inhale, draw the shoulder blades together. And as you exhale, you're drawing the belly in, or you're allowing that opening through the chest again. But really what you want to try to create is this length through the front of the body. And over time, the more that you do that, the more you'll be able to bring the weight off the lower back if you are feeling that pinching. Take an inhale, come back to the center. And then as you exhale, release the hands forward, palms facing towards you, and then that rounding through the spine. Take another breath, inhale. And then as you exhale, we're going to release the hands on the inside of that leg. Allow the right foot to come out to the side a little, so maybe towards the outside of the mat. So basically you have room for the shoulders. Hopefully the shoulders can be over the wrists. Take an inhale, but draw that right knee in. So that right thigh might have a tendency to just drop out to the side. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, a little bend into the elbows. It doesn't need to be far, so just easing into that hip and the groin. Inhale, back up. Couple of times like that with your breath. Exhaling, softening in. Inhale and exhale. And then inhale back up. And then exhale, step back. You could move through a vinyasa, or you could just come back to sit in your child's pose or rest in your down dog. Take some time there. So the gratitude muscle in the brain is like any other muscle that we need to work and we need to flex. And really by expressing gratitude, not only to others, but also to ourselves, we can induce the positive emotions within us, which generally involves kind of happiness and joy and contentment. And by producing these emotions within the brain, it affects our overall health and well-being. And this is what research is starting to show. You know, it's the simple things that really make a difference as well. So some of the things that we were talking about during the week is like keeping a journal, writing down maybe one or two things that we feel grateful for. And you could even just consider now, you know, is there something at the moment in your life that you just feel really glad about? Maybe something that happened, or maybe a person in your life, or maybe it's a thing in your life, an object. And it's worth just going a little bit deeper with it, so considering why you feel grateful for that person or that thing or that experience, and how it makes you feel. So if you can, bring words to it. It's really useful if you can bring words. So when you're ready, we'll come back to our down dog. Take an inhale to lift the left leg, press through the heel, lift up through the pelvis, and turn the left toes to the midline of the body so they're not out to the side, which will help to drop the hip. Take another inhale, and then as you exhale, bringing that foot forward. Remember, you can just give it a little hand if it needs it. And then right knee comes down, and then you're inhaling to sweep to your lunge. And exhale, just set that up. So again, draw back, draw the belly in, lengthen tailbone. So this will help when you go into your back bends, if you're doing back bends today. Keep connected through that left thigh. Take an inhale. And exhale, bringing the elbows shoulder height, shoulder blades together. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Take another inhale there. Feel that lift through the crown of the head. And then maybe as you exhale, you're softening into that. Again, that opening through the body, through the chest, shoulder blades drawing towards one another. Take an inhale, come back to the center. Exhale, release the hands behind. Inhale, shoulder blades draw together. And as you exhale, you're either drawing the belly in, stay as you are, or softening into that. Remember, no issues in the lower back. Inhale to come back to the center. Exhale to release the hands forward. Inhale, draw the chin towards the chest. Stay steady through that left leg. Take another inhale. And then as you exhale, releasing the hands on the inside, walk the left foot out to the side a little, so it gives you space for the shoulders and the hands. Take an inhale. Draw the knee into the chest or into the arm. And then as you exhale, a little dip, just sinking down into that hip, into that groin area. Inhale back up. And exhaling, softening in. Inhale. And exhale. And then inhale up. And then you're stepping back, and if a vinyasa feels really great for you today, energy levels are good, then take that, or just sit back to your child's pose or stay in down dog, pausing for a moment. Because we've been practicing gratitude this week, it's been like really on my mind as well. And I had a funny experience when I went food shopping yesterday. And food shopping is not my most favorite thing to do. I don't like it. Not something I look forward to. But there I was with my trolley, and I turned down the aisle, and I had like half full trolley. Most of the shelves had things on, and I just had this wave of gratitude come over me, and it was really quite profound and powerful. And I just thought, isn't this amazing? You know, I'm able to buy this food. I am living in a country that has food on the shelves, and it just changed my perception of going shopping, and it stayed with me for the whole day as well. And I just had a smile on my face, and I was just like, how wonderful is this? So it really is the little things that make a massive difference to how we feel, but it's having that, it's building on that awareness so that when these things do come along, we're there with it. So I could have just kind of gone round the shop, kind of a bit grumpy maybe, oh, I don't want to be here, I'd rather, do it as quick as I can, which is maybe what I would normally do. But this just changed everything, and it was really quite profound and lovely. So from your down dog, take an inhale, gaze forward, step or maybe even hop the feet to the top of the mat. Bring the hands onto the shins as you inhale, gaze forward. And as you exhale, fold in over the legs. Press down through the feet, take an inhale to come all the way up to stand. And as you exhale, bring the hands down into the heart space. Pausing there for a moment, take an inhale. And as you exhale, soften in. Inhale, bring the hands to the lower back so that the fingertips are pointing down. Take an inhale and feel that you can find that length, that opening through the chest. Draw the elbows and the shoulder blades towards one another. And then as you exhale, feel that you could soften into the lower back, into the hands. But obviously that's only if you're back bending. Otherwise, draw the belly in and just stay there and breathe. And you just maybe feel that you could push the thighs forward a little, opening through the upper chest. And then take an inhale, come back to the center. Interlace the hands behind. Inhale, draw the shoulder blades together. And then as you exhale, fold forward. So bend into the knees, release the head. And maybe the hands are coming over the back, over the shoulders even. Maybe you even have a little rock side to side. That can sometimes be quite nice to just get into any little knots that might be there in the shoulders. And then on your next breath in, release the hands onto the ankles, onto the shins to gaze forward, find length. And then as you exhale, we're going to step back with the left leg. So we're either going to go into a high lunge, so keeping the knee lifted, or if a low lunge is going to be better for you, then please take that. Put right knee over ankle, take an inhale to come up to the top. And if the knee is lifted, bend into the knee a little so that you can create that neutral pelvis, long lower back. And then begin to draw the heel back, but keeping that level pelvis. Connect in through the right thigh, take an inhale, reach up through the hands. And as you exhale, cactus arms. Take an inhale there, stay there. And then as you exhale, either draw the belly in or soften into your back bend. Take an inhale to come back to the center. Exhale to release the hands behind. Remember, just adjust the interlace every now and again, just to change it. Inhale, shoulder blades draw together, and maybe exhale, soften into that. Inhale back to the center, release the hands forward. Exhaling, reach the hands, chin towards the chest, rounding through the spine a little. Take another inhale. And then reach the hands up to the top. Press the palms away, draw the shoulders down. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, a little fold over to the left side. Inhale back to the center and exhale over to the right side. Inhale to the center. And then as you exhale, release the right hand to the lower back. Lift the left hand up. The palm can face in towards the body. And then as you exhale, maybe there's a softening into that. Maybe you're beginning to feel that a little bit more into the left thigh, all the way up through that left side. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, we're going to bring that left hand all the way down. Remember, you can drop that left knee if you need to at any point. Press into the left hand and then inhale the right hand up. And have a just check in with that right leg, that right knee. Draw it in. So don't allow it to get a bit lazy. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, bring the right arm over the head. Reach through the arm and the fingertips. And then sweep it along the mat. And then inhale back up. Just really circling through the shoulder. Exhaling down. Inhale. And exhale. One more. And then exhale. Release that hand down. And as ever, you can step back and move through a vinyasa. Or you can just rest. So there are lots of ways that we can practice gratitude. And it's worth remembering that it is a practice. It's not just something that we are able to do naturally because of the way the brain is wired, because of this negativity bias. So we kind of have to try to make it a habit. So one of the things is a journal, but for many people that's not gonna work for them. Absolutely fine, don't worry about that. Lots of things that you can kind of incorporate into everyday life. One of them, which I really love, which I don't do that regularly, but when I do it's quite profound, is mindful eating, about where your food has come from. Because when you do this, you start to think, even just potatoes on your plate. You think about the sun and the rain, and then someone having to look after that plant and harvest that plant. And then it has to get to the shop. So there's more people, different people involved there. Somebody had to make the vehicle to get it to the shop. And then somebody had to put it on the shelf so that you could buy it. And it just goes on and on and on. And then obviously somebody had to cook it so that it was on your plate. So there are many, many things, many layers to that. I think it's said that there could be around 70 people involved in one meal, which is just profound. How often do we think about that? So from your down dog, take an inhale, step or even hop the feet to the top of the mat. Hands onto the shins, take an inhale, gaze forward. And as you exhale, fold in over the legs. And we'll just step back with the right leg. So doing that on the other side. Remember, if you need to bring the knee down rather than a high lunge, do that. Take an inhale, lifting up. Set that up though, so lengthen the tailbone, draw the belly in, push back through the right heel. Inhale, reach through the fingertips. Exhale, cactus arms. Inhale, find a bit more length, and maybe exhale, back bending. Inhale to the center, exhale the hands behind. Inhale, shoulder blades together. exhaling, softening in. Inhale to the center, exhale forward. Inhale, rounding through the spine. Exhale, softening. Inhale, reach the hands up, press away through the palms. And as you exhale, fold over to the right, keeping the legs steady. Inhale, exhale over to the left. Inhale to the center, exhale the left hand to the lower back. Reach the right hand up, palm facing in. Inhale. And then as you exhale, maybe softening into that. And you might have that support for the lower back, so you might feel you can go slightly deeper. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, release that right hand down. So it's directly underneath the shoulder. Take an inhale, reach left hand up. Notice that left thigh. Certainly for me, it just wants to kind of flop out to the side. I need to connect it in. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, reach the left arm over the head. Sweep it along the mat. Inhale. And exhale. One more inhale. And then exhale. Release that hand down. Step back as ever, your choice, vinyasa, or just simply to child's pose. And we'll all come to child's pose anyway, so if you do a vinyasa, just come there. Let yourself rest for a moment. So our brain is basically conditioned to kind of function in a repeated way. It likes habits, you know. Habits conserve energy. So if there are ones that are maybe not working for us anymore, then we need to actively try to change them. So basically a person who maybe worries too much about negative outcomes, you know, things that are going to happen in the future, they will subconsciously rewire their brain to process only negative information. But what's interesting is that the mind cannot focus on positive and negative information at the same time. So basically by consciously practicing gratitude, we can train the brain to attend selectively to positive emotions and thoughts and things that are happening in our life, and then reducing anxiety and worry. But it's worth remembering it is a practice, so we do have to do it. But it doesn't need to be complicated. It can be things that we're already doing in our life. Like a gratitude walk, you know, if you're the kind of person you walk dogs every day, or you just go for a walk every day, it could be that you start to bring your gratitude practice into your walk. And in that way you're stacking your habits. And then it's not an issue. You don't have to think about it. It's not a chore. It just happens. You know, a bit like brushing your teeth. That could even be your gratitude practice, where you just pause for a moment, 2 minutes brushing your teeth every day. What am I feeling grateful for in this moment? And really draw it in. And it's worth remembering to consider why you feel grateful for that thing or person, and how it makes you feel. What emotions does it bring up? And feel them in your body, and allow them to almost kind of filter through the rest of your being. Really powerful, and can be really simple. So when you're ready, from your child's pose, take an inhale, reach the arms forward. Exhale, release the legs. Going to come down onto our backs. Bending the knees, have the soles of the feet onto the mat. We're going to move through bridge, but not necessarily like big deep back bends, rather just a kind of release in the back. So feet are hip distance, hands can be away from the body, palms up. Take an inhale, press into the feet, lifting the hips. Draw the knees towards one another so the legs are engaging. And then as you exhale, soften back down. Doing that a few times just to kind of, it's almost like I always think of it like a reverse cat-cow. So it can be soft. It doesn't need to be really forceful. No major sensations. And then the next time that you exhale and come down, bring the feet wider than the hips. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, drop the knees over to the left side. And just pause there for a few breaths. So you might find that the right knee is close to the left foot. You can just stay there, or you could bring the left foot on top of the right knee to anchor that right side down. It will intensify that stretch along the right. It might extend into the lower back, so make sure that's okay. Couple of breaths there. And then when you're ready, inhaling back to the center. And then exhaling to the other side. And again, you could anchor it down with the right foot if that's useful. And it's worth kind of saying that we shouldn't hesitate to be happy. So if you feel happy, don't shy away from it. You know, this can be something that people do because of the busyness and because of all the things that need to be done. You know, when something good happens, just have that pause, have that kind of drawing in, allowing it to land. Remind yourself that you've worked hard to achieve all the things that you have in your life, and that you do truly deserve them. You don't need to keep striving for the next thing. It doesn't mean that we don't work hard and we don't want to improve our life and be a success, but it just means that we have those moments of pause, and we acknowledge the joy and the thankfulness for what we have in the moment. So take another inhale, come back to the center, drawing the knees into the chest. And knees a little bit wider. Take the ankles, so reach the hands in between the legs, take hold of the ankles. And so a really soft, happy baby. So what we want to try to do is lengthen the back of the body again. So lengthen tailbone, draw the lower back into the mat, and even try to draw the shoulder blades down if you can as well. And that you might stay there, or you might feel full, happy baby is actually more useful for you. So taking the outsides of the feet and bringing the soles of the feet into the air. But only do that if you can still maintain that long back. Well, there's no issues in the neck. Otherwise, just take the ankles. That can be a really lovely way just to reset the spine. Let everything settle. And then take another inhale. And then as you exhale, release into your Shavasana. So you might want to keep the soles of the feet onto the mat and the knees bent, or you might feel you're fine just to lengthen the legs. Choose where you want to be. And just settle yourself into a relaxed place where the body can be held. And you could take a few deep calming breaths just to center back in. And let your awareness move to kind of your immediate surroundings. So all the things that you can hear and smell and taste, perhaps, moving the tongue around the mouth. And even see, even though the eyes might be closed, just aware of the sense of sight. And touch, feeling the air on the skin or the touch of the ground. Being aware of your senses. And just say to yourself, for this I am grateful. For this I am grateful. To have all my senses to allow me to engage in the world. And then bring your mind to people in your life who you're close to, your family, your friends, your partner. And just say to yourself, for this I am grateful. Seeing their faces, feeling their energy, how they make you feel. For this, I am grateful. And then turning your attention to yourself, to the unique you. All the things that you have achieved, all the things you have overcome in life, how full your heart is with love and compassion. And just say to yourself, for this I am grateful. Just resting in that place of realization that life is a precious gift. That we have been born into prosperity and wealth and a rich culture and ability to learn and grow. Saying to yourself, for this I am grateful. Taking another long, deep breath in. Maybe a little pause at the top and a long exhale. And then slowly bring movement into fingers and toes. Draw the knees into the chest and just gradually reawaken and slowly come back. And you might even just keep the eyes soft or closed as you come to sit just for a moment here. Bringing the hands back to prayer or maybe over the heart space. And just being aware of that intention for your day, for your weekend. Remembering language is a vehicle for emotion. So the more that we can be aware of this and the more we can bring it into positive present tense words, the more it will take hold and be your reality. Recall it to yourself now, maybe 3 times. And then closing with one Om, take a deep breath in. Om. So thank you for your practice. Namaste.